The Sonic Generations review took a long time to make. That's because I spent a while making sure it turned out as well made as possible, but it's also because I spent over 75 hours playing Nuclear Throne instead of editing, so let's talk about that. Nuclear Throne is a top-down roguelike shooter by Vlambeer, and it's both fantastic and frustrating. One thing I really like is the cast of mutants. Each character has their own abilities like dual-wielding, shielding, and dodge-rolling in accordance with the Book of Roguelikes. My personal favorite is Crystal, because he gets more health and the ability to shield. This comes in handy since I'm very bad at not getting shot. This game is infuriating sometimes. Several of the enemies deserve the prefix, I hate these as in, I hate these assassins who do 5 damage and are hard to hit. Or, I hate this boss whose attacks come in greater frequency than notes in without warning. Or, I hate these assassins! Some of these attacks are absolutely cheap, and figuring out the strategies to beat them feels less like overcoming an obstacle and more like learning to duck when someone suddenly throws a plate at your head. Fortunately, you have a sizable arsenal of weapons at your disposal, and these are one of the best parts of the game. Not only are they fun to use, but the effects and sound design are incredibly satisfying. Hitting a giant robot with the Thunder Hammer or shooting anything point blank with a double barrel is one of the best things about this game for me. To go with this is a host of upgrades. I like how these allow you to make your playstyle more viable, such as in my case where I opt for having as much health as possible and keeping my health at max. It's no risk, high reward. What also makes the game fun is how the progression works, though I admittedly think it's flawed in some ways. If you go by the standard progression, go through the game and sit on the nuclear throne, it works really well. However, you can loop the game by killing the final boss in a certain way. On one hand, this is really cool, and looped areas are crawling with hostiles to balance your power. My shotgun was able to put an entire firing squad to shame, and even then it was an intense struggle to take out the hordes. However, once you start doing runs with the goal of looping the game, the progression becomes more of a problem. Just getting to the throne room takes roughly 20 minutes, and as mentioned, the enemies can be cheap. It makes the initial run much more tedious, merely a means to where you actually want to be rather than part of the fun. I think it would be cool if you could jump right into the looped mode with a couple upgrades, but not as many as if you were playing conventionally. That can make an interesting risk-reward setup. But overall, I really enjoy Nuclear Throne. It's polished, challenging, and really fun. Definitely worth checking out.